All right. I think we're live. So, I have missed talking to my good friend Tebow.
Yeah,
So he has graciously agreed to stop by and chat with me. So I'm very glad about that.
yeah,
So, how have you been, Mr. Tebow?
awesome, Steve. Yeah, things yeah, it's doing good. We had a challenging year, last year, but it's this year's working out pretty good. It's
Yeah.
everything. I had some family issues, but they all got resolved, like things do sometimes.
Mhm.
I'm still, I'm not, all our family's healthy and happy. So like life is, life's all ups and downs. So
Yeah. Ironically, it's pretty much the same story for us. We had a
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
rough year last year, and things are um, much improved this year, thankfully,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
why I've been able to do a little bit more on the channel because things
yep.
have kind of calmed down a little bit. Like you said, life is prone to do.
It's like roller coaster rides, Like we think we learn our lesson by now with
You think
after at our age.
at our age, right?
Like it's gonna come back. Everything will get better after a while there. So
Sometimes it don't feel that way, but it
right.
tends to work out all right.
Yes, it does. So
So those of you who follow the channel know that I did a chat with baseball demos about what we would do if we suddenly inherited Strat Shutomatic, and so I thought it would be fun to talk to Mr. APBA Hall of Famer Tebow uh,
yes.
about uh, if what's John's last name?
Person.
Person. So if he decided he was done, he didn't want to do this anymore, had all the
Hmm.
money he needed, and he was going to give the company to his good friend Tebow.
Ah,
What would what were some things that you would like to implement?
that's a very good question. That's a thing. So should I go? Should I give you a
Yeah,
couple things? Okay.
yeah. So I
Um.
have a couple ideas, but I'm not as
Yeah.
invested as I was in the Strat one, so I'm going to lean on you on this one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of you guys. I mean, like demos the other day, and you yourself. I think you said you guys been playing Strat for decades. It's
Right.
like been your game of choice, and I've been the same way with APA. It's been the game of choice. And and what I would change, I mean, so far as I've got to watch because I know John. As
Right.
far as like being on there, but he
Yeah,
knows
that kind of puts you in a sticky situation a little
well,
bit.
and I know a lot of my friends watch it from the app. But I could tell you, John, like the service is, I mean, it can catch people off guard, and that's the kind of the thing with their customer service you hear a lot about.
Hmm.
Um, and I think just because I know I've been in his office, I know how that whole company runs and I know who he has working there and like how much staff he has available. I kind of understand, like, but someone new though that they never played Appa or bought anything from Appa, they don't know that. Yeah, they're expecting like the Amazon treatment.
Hmm.
Like everything's like right there on your doorstep. No question. If you have an issue, there's service, chats, everything all over the place. 24-hour call centers, whatever.
Hmm.
And Appa's just not set up like that. And it's, that's a challenge. I don't know what their cash flow is like to support like hiring like a someone just to answer the phone maybe like the old days. I mean, the old days they did like back in Lancaster, they had like people that would answer the phone. I remember calling them. And I know that's a big gripe. And I don't know like how much it would take, but I would put someone in place. Like I would try to get a receptionist in there to just at least like almost make an effort like Strat does. I mean, Strat's phone service is spotty too. Once
Hmm.
I'm trying to get a hold of them sometimes, but at least they have somebody that's
Right.
there, or they put a number there. But that's something I would do is try to improve that part of things. As
Let
far
me
as the
ask you.
service side,
Yeah, and I agree with that. That would probably be the
yeah,
biggest one,
yeah,
from what I know about. So, I think when we're comparing Atba's customer service, I think we're comparing it to guys like Chris at Inside Pitch,
yeah,
Pete at, So
right,
when me and Demos was talking about Strat, we kind of talked about how is Strat so big that they can't do like Pete can because they're just so
right,
big, you know. And Demos made the comment like maybe because of the volume they do, they can't really get down to the customer level like like
right.
these other companies that we admire, and the customer service is great. Would you see APA kind of in that maybe that the volume is such that it kind of makes it the challenges are different than
I,
say replay or inside pitch or
I I think it is because John, I know he's really busy doing like running the business side of things. I mean, not necessarily dealing with customers, but he's dealing with like card developers. He's dealing with. I know he does a lot. I mean, I was in his office. He does a lot of proofing of the cards himself. I
okay.
mean, he'll have a whole like a set that'll be coming out. He'll have it all on his desk in like sheets, like 3 by 3 sheets, and he'll just be going through like checking them, like every spare second he has. Like he's trying to proof stuff, and he's dealing with. I mean, he's a grandpap too. I know he likes to spend time. I mean, he's his wife passed unexpectedly. Some of you guys
Right.
knew that, but I know he's got family in the area he likes to spend time with. I know he has grandkids in the area likes to spend time with. So,
I'm done with
like,
that struggle.
hey, Grandpa's still working, you know. So, but yeah, I don't think it's too big. I mean, it just I know it's staffing. Like he has a couple like snowbirds, you know, like they live in Atlanta or in the winter, fall, winter, then they go down south or north or something. You know, they go well, the snowbirds. They go north and south, you know.
Mhm.
It's all he almost has a retirees working for him too. So I think it's a staffing issue more so. Just and just the cost of bringing someone on and giving them enough work to do in an 8-hour day or plus who knows what minimum wage is in Atlanta if it's like $10 an hour, you know. So that's a big
So
expense.
I mean, he has done some things. Again, making wasn't he the one that made the library available, the
Yeah,
seasons?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
He did some
again, that's
great
a big
things.
gripe for Strat people. You know, and so
Right,
that was a great thing.
right.
He does seem to be pretty open at your all's conventions to take
Yeah,
questions and stuff. You may not like the answers, but at least he's
yeah.
trying, to explain
Right.
what's going on. So that's something.
Yep.
And again, you don't have to answer this if you feel like it gets in trouble, but do you think maybe that because of his position in life, that for him this is maybe more of a hobby than a business?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just that's just my opinion. Yeah, I just think the nice thing about John, I think, is he is a real app fanatic at heart. You know,
Mhm.
he actually there's even like someone pointed out an Appa Journal ad where he put an ad in. He was trying to organize like a Appa basketball league. You know, call John Hurt like in his like 20s or something. You
Wow,
know,
you're like a zealot if you want to play
yeah,
type of basketball.
something like that. It might have been a football league. I might be wrong there, but yeah, that's the thing with John. He's passionate about the game, and he's really passionate about the community too. You know, the fans, the guys that go to the convention, and the guys that go to the tournaments. You know, he really is trying to grow that part of things. Real Appa. That's one thing Appa I think has on Strat is their nationwide string of tournaments. I mean, they have a humongous amount. It's almost like
Mhm.
every weekend of the year there's an Appa tournament somewhere in the country. It seems so. That's really taken off in the last like 10, 15 years. So that's huge. I mean, I would suggest, yeah, I know one of my friends is having one in Columbus, Ohio, up by where you're
Yeah,
at, near
yeah,
near kind of you are.
yeah.
And they're fun days. I mean, if you could make a point to get to one, I mean, it's in like you and I and a lot of our friends here do this stuff. We're all solo gamers, you know, like
Mhm.
we're in our holes playing our games. But you go to these tournaments, and if for like at least one afternoon, you have a whole like 20, 30 guys that are exactly like you in a room. And it's amazing. It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah, and you get to see how everybody's card setups are, how their dice towers work, their little idiosyncrasies, and how they score. And it's just like awesome for
Well,
a day. So,
I think that's the appeal to YouTube channels is
yeah,
because again, most of us are solo. Our family's not interested, or
Yeah.
We're not close enough to people who really want to play, and so that's why I think the YouTube appeals to people because like you can see people play, how
Yep.
they roll their dice tower, their setup,
Hmm.
so
I was talking about that. I don't think it's too sides, but like that's exactly right, Steve. Like, there's a guy you guys might have seen him recently. He's kind of a newer channel. His name's like PC Sports Games and Dice or something.
hmm
But he has this thing now where he just pulls the PDF up and he has the ball roller
right,
and he plays right off of the PDF.
hmm
And it's very he just the other day he did like 2 innings of inside pitch, 2 innings of I think replay, and like 2 innings of another game. And he didn't play a whole game, but it was just like, wow, that's kind of cool. I have all these PDF sets. I'm going to go do that. I just did it this
right,
morning. So,
exactly. I mean, how
yeah,
many? I mean, I've had numerous comments. People will see you playing, and it's like, if I went and bought it, and
right,
so
right.
I'm glad I could be of service.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, John, so far as that, it's as far as APBA, what I would change. I mean, he's done so much good for I mean, like I said, I would look at, he did the baseball, like I said, you almost get every baseball season, every hockey season. I would
Well,
like
they've
to
been adding
see,
a lot of football too, hasn't he?
yeah, that's what he started. He said that was his goal, and he did it. Like when he first moved, I mean, he owned the company, but it was run by some other guys. And he took over like owning it and running it in like
Okay.
2013 around there.
hmm
And he moved the company from Lancaster to Atlanta. Everybody was kind of miffed about that. They didn't know what was going to happen. They thought it was like maybe he's going to close it or what was going to happen
hmm
because everybody was used to APA was Lancaster. It was the Amish. It was
Sure.
APA was it was Lancaster. But when he did that, he said, "I'm going to release every baseball season." Like it was silly to only have like 3 or 4 seasons available or
Right.
whatever. It was kind of like Stratish almost. They only had like a few seasons you could buy. He said, "I'm going to release every baseball season, and I'm going to release every football season once I'm done with that." And that's what he's working on. I mean, he's trying. It's those football seasons are a lot of work. Like
hmm
I think there's like 1,000 cards in those sets,
Yeah.
and he's got to pay somebody to do them, and they had some issues with that. The guy that did the cards passed away. They got a new guy now,
hmm
and
I know that
he's
that
trying.
backlog did a little bit, when
Y-
until he found somebody else that could take over. I know I
Yeah,
heard some grumbling going on in the community.
yeah. He does a good job with the new products too. Like he one of his goals he always talks about is he always tries out like a new product every newsletter if he can.
hmm
He does pretty much. I mean, he does like every time he puts out a newsletter, like now available this. It's something even if it's like a soccer league or something. It's something new. So and
Yes.
that's like his model. So
Yeah. So again, looking kind of on the outside, I mean, I obviously have APBA and have played APBA and
mhm.
enjoy it. I would say the customer service probably, if I was king,
Yeah,
that would be something that I would want to address. And like you
yeah,
said, kind of see where our profit margins are.
yeah,
Ideally, if it was you didn't need the money, you can maybe consider it like
yeah.
a hobby and take a little bit of a loss. And but I think that would be probably the biggest thing because there's been some um, pretty serious issues, and I know
Oh
people
yeah,
who
oh
that
yeah.
doesn't mean everybody has an issue, but there's
Right,
enough issues that I think they would do if I owned the company. Again, I've been in customer service my whole life, and so
right, right,
so those kind of issues mean a lot to me, because of where
right,
I'm at. So I would
right,
want to do what I could to fix that. Whether it was um, hiring somebody,
right,
or just again look into it. Like
right,
we talked about with demos. We're speaking a lot from ignorance. We don't
right,
know what the profit margins are and all
right.
that kind of thing. But
You don't
but I
know what
think that
like
would be a good thing.
exactly like you don't know because he was I mean this wasn't his like life job. It's
Right.
not like how Richmond where he owned Strat his whole life.
Right.
He was a tax attorney
hmm
in Wisconsin and Atlanta, and he almost like retired then to start APA. Like so he retired now he's running APA. So
hmm
who knows? Maybe he's who knows what his position is financially. Maybe it's just like you said earlier, like a hobby. Maybe it's a hobby business, so it's not like he's trying to like grow it to like an Amazon size to like
Yeah,
make more money. Who knows?
and again,
Yeah,
looking on the outside in, that's kind of how it looks. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
I bought it, I saved it, I'm trying to do some stuff.
yeah.
If you're good with that, great. If not, okay. you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I think
so
that's what you hit it there. I mean, and I don't mind it. I mean, I even myself got bit by the service bug just this week.
mhm,
But I'm always the one coming up saying, "Oh, like I think I do agree when people put gripes on social media. That's another thing too. Is social media is such a forum for everybody to see your problems. Whereas like 20, 30 years ago, you didn't see other
right.
people's service problems.
Mhm,
But now, like you put one post out saying I can't get a hold of them, like they messed up my order. Everybody in the whole world knows now,
right.
and I know myself, like I do think it's actually kind of rude if someone comes up and says, "Well, I've never had a problem with APBA,"
It
because
is.
it is
I agree.
because you know what, you're not talking that doesn't help that guy that's losing
right.
that set. Like that
Right.
does all that's saying is it's not helping that guy at all.
Right.
So, like for example, this week I ordered the 90 football set that just came out and the new
Nice.
golf course,
Okay.
and he said to use UPS because Atlanta's like post office was terrible or something. He
Hmm.
recommended everybody pick UPS.
Hmm.
I pick UPS, and like you get the tracking. It says like label created, and
Hmm.
like, okay, they're gonna ship it now. It never shipped for like a week. It's just like label created. So I sent an email Friday. No response. I'm like, oh, now I'm in the same boat with these other guys
right.
complaining. So Monday, I sent another email and they responded. They said, okay, you know what? UPS messed up. They didn't scan the package. We'll send you another one. And I finally got a new tracking number today. So that was like it's been 2 weeks now,
Hmm.
but they did respond. That's the thing with John is he's not a man to like spend a lot of words. He wants to get stuff done. I think that miffs people off. Like what he'll do is he does read the emails, but he won't respond back saying, "Hey,
Right.
sorry for that. I got your email. I'll send this
Right.
out Thursday." He's just going to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
Yeah,
and
it's been my
that's
experience. I've had a couple
yeah,
things where things didn't work out.
yeah,
I communicated, never heard a thing,
yeah.
but they sent it.
They do. They send it. Yeah,
Right. And
you know.
so, and again, I had been around enough to kind of know what to expect, and
Yeah,
so far they've fixed it. If they just didn't let me know they were going to fix it.
right, right, exactly. Like, cause I emailed Monday. They emailed me back Monday. I was like, okay, like where's the tracking number? Now it's Thursdays. It's like Thursday at 3 o'clock today, this afternoon. I got my tracking number. Like, okay, they did fix it. So
I got Strat uses FedEx,
yeah, yeah.
so I ordered the. I mean, this is going back to like November.
Hmm.
I ordered the new basketball season from Strat.
Hmm. Hmm.
So FedEx, to my knowledge, it's still in Independence, Kentucky.
Yeah, yeah.
So and this is
Oh,
like from November.
oh
So
my.
I send Strata an email. They said, okay, sorry, we'll send you another one.
Uh-huh.
This one is in Greenwood, Indiana,
Hmm.
and it's still in Greenwood, Indiana.
Hmm.
so
Oh no.
FedEx is screwing up big time. So I sent Strata another message, and I haven't heard anything. So
Yeah.
they're trying, but so I've got. I guess if I go to Independence, Kentucky, or Greenwood, Indiana, I might be able to get my
Oh
season.
yeah.
But,
That's
so
that reminds me of a funny Strat customer service story I had because I don't really buy a ton of stuff. I do buy some Strata stuff, but here and there. I bought the hockey season and I forgot to get the card image. I don't know if you know the hockey game. You can get the image so you can see the image on the game,
okay.
um, the actual card image. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, like this is like useless. I want to see the cards too on
Right.
this. And then there are things said on the things like you can't add that on. Like if you make a
Right.
mistake, like it'll say you got to buy the whole next.
Right.
So I called them, and it took about 4 or 5 calls, and they wouldn't answer. Their answer machine would pick up, and it would hang up on you.
Okay.
I was like, and so I got to get a hold. It was at lunchtime. I was doing it at work, and like every lunchtime, I would call Strat to try to fix it. And I said, well, if I ever get somebody on the line, I'm going to be say as nice as sugar pie. Like, please, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. And this girl got on there. I was like, ma'am, I'm having a trouble. I made a big mistake here, and she fixed it. And they actually added the card image. They
Nice.
just charged me the little extra amount, and
Right.
like a
And,
little bit of honey goes a long way.
again, going back to what me and Demos were talking about, that kind of thing should be,
Yeah.
hey, the nickel and diming at Strat,
Oh
But
yeah.
again, we're talking about APBA. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if you were, so we talking about customer service. If
Mhm.
you were king, what would you do about the golf game situation?
Ooh, golf game, you know what? I'm hearing a lot about that. Those guys are really upset about the
Yeah, yeah.
yardages.
Well, not even
And
that. I mean, it was. I
yeah.
guess there was a promised update, or at least that's
Yeah.
how they perceived it.
Yeah.
And this has been pushing a year now, and
Right.
nothing. I mean, would you? And I guess, I mean, have you seen what the updates are about?
I do. I actually I know Tom Klein, the guy that designed like a lot of this stuff. Like
Hmm.
he's actually up here near Pittsburgh. I haven't talked to him in a while. I mean, I I went over. I played golf with him one day. He's a fantastic guy. He's the most congenial, and he has the most amazing sports sim collection too at his house. He's a doctor. He teaches. He's at a local university. So,
Hmm.
but anyways, he's the guy that did the up. I think he did the updates, and he actually gave it to APBA to put out. It wasn't like a money deal. There's no problems there, but I think John, he mentioned the convention. His concern was that ball. He thought they were gonna like tone the ball down to bring it back to like 10 years ago. Like they're gonna do
Hmm.
something with the Titleist ball.
Oh,
So he
okay.
didn't
So
want to make a big investment. Yeah.
he was waiting for the PGA to change the rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he it's a big investment for him to buy a bunch of those books and change the whole thing around.
Hmm.
Because what he's also doing, he's actually making the guys that own the game, like their book made feel like obsolete, almost not obsolete, but I got to get the new book now, and I already have this other book, or is my old card set going to work with the new boards? And I don't know. I think he was afraid to make the mistake that the football game made with 1982 when they totally redid the football game,
Right.
and they told everybody's cards were not good for the new game. And I think that was probably his concern there. I think with that, but. You know what? I ran some tests myself after I saw they complaining about. I did some yardage tests with and they did come up a little bit shorter than what they normally do, but yeah, it's still playable. It's still a playable game.
So if you were king, based on what you know, you would leave it be.
Yeah, I would. I would. I mean, the other thing too. I mean, I don't see why you can't like add like a rating on the card or something like a plus rating or something. Like that 31 result on the golf card is like that bomb drive if you
Hmm.
hit 31s.
Yeah.
And I don't know, make a result because they did that to the football game. Um, and then again, we're talking about like changing the boards around. Like the football game actually had the kickoffs only went to a certain number. And then they added more results to the kickoff boards. About 10, 15 years ago. So it's an investment, I think, John has to make, and I don't know if he's ready to do that or he's looking for a return on that investment as well. Maybe it's not selling. Maybe he's not selling that much to justify it. I mean, that could be it. I don't know. So
So if you were king, you would want to see the numbers and see
yeah,
maybe what the update is. And
yeah, yeah. With the golf, I try to find a way to do it somehow. With the cards, like the card formula, or
I know ASG, that's how they did
yeah,
it. They
yeah,
added like
yeah,
a letter,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then and then they just made another extra chart that says if you get this letter, it adds this many yards.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that works pretty good. I haven't played a lot of modern with
yeah.
ASG. Most of mine's Arnold Palmer and Gary Player and
Right,
those guys, but
right.
I think that's how ASG handled it. And that sounds like that probably would work because obviously ASG and Apple are pretty closely
Yeah,
related.
yeah. ASG is that long drive column. I don't know if they
Right.
added that recently. Yeah, if you
Mm-hmm.
get that long drive column.
Right. Got to
So
get Bryce the Shambo in there.
yeah, yeah. That golf game, I know. I think more people have to get involved with that golf caddy or the game caddy guy. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah, I've messed with that a little bit. It's impressive.
Yeah, yeah, the game caddy guy. That's a good. I mean, he makes it so easy with that
Mhm.
marking the ball around and everything. So,
Now, I know nothing about their computer games. I have
mhm,
heard enough that know that there's some complaints. So
mhm.
if you were king, what would you do about their computer
Mm.
games?
Yeah, you know what? That's going to take That's hard a question to ask because BBW has been around like a long time. They started out with a DOS-based game. Then they added the Ernie Harwell feature, I think, in maybe the
Hmm.
early '90s, where Ernie Harwell recorded every name of every current player and former player, and you have that embedded into the game, right now. And players have been playing that for decades, and it's modular, which really drives a lot of people away because you get when you load it up, it's like there's like advanced draft, stat master, league manager, and the actual game. You have four different modules on your desktop, and you have to kind of. It's not real intuitive so far as like replay PC replay. It
Hmm.
isn't intuitive.
Right.
It's not real intuitive, and you kind of got to I read the whole help file, and it's kind of like Stratish, where like Strat almost feels like you're playing a game from the '90s. It's the same
Hmm.
with the BBW, and it's
And
like a little
outdated.
bit, yeah, it's a little bit
Okay.
outdated. They're going in the right direction though with that Go, but I think that still needs some more bells and whistles. You need
Now, is
some.
the Go? Is it kind of like Strat Max?
Yeah, it's a little bit StratMax. StratMax a little bit, I think, a little bit further ahead than Go is, but
Okay.
Go is like a Strat. But the nice thing about APBA Go is it now has the master game features in there.
Okay.
That you could try out. So it'll actually help teach you the master game a little bit, as you're playing it. And there's a
So
basic game, and all the seasons are there too.
what would you do?
You know what? There's some quaintness to that Ernie Harwell though. I don't know if you ever played it or got it.
I've seen it, yes, and
Yeah.
uh, I remember there was a game. It was a computer game. It may have been Tony La Russa. It was
Yeah.
one of those where it had three announcers in it. One
Hmm.
was Mel Allen,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Kurt Gowdy,
Yep.
and so it wasn't perfect. This is back in the '90s, but it was
Yep.
amazing. To hear Mel Allen do your game, even though again it was a little choppy and wasn't
Yeah.
perfect. But so yeah, I can see the appeal to that.
Yeah, the old time baseball. Like that the thing with John and that BBW, it's almost like a love hate because he knows he has a bunch it's really a high profit margin. Cause I mean he's just selling the download.
Hmm.
And like it's pure profit for him as soon as those people buy that download.
Hmm.
But then his concern with BBW has always been the piracy end of it because like it's so easy. There's no like protection on it like Strat has with their
Hmm.
keys.
Right.
He feels that he just loses money, but he does keep it alive, and because there's so many players out there in the leagues and stuff that play BBW, and it probably doesn't cost him a ton. I mean, if he's making the cards, he has all the ratings there, and he just sells that on top of it. But it's almost I think when you talk to him, when you hear him talk to the crowd down the lane, it's almost like a love hate. Like people are pirating that left and right, and he knows it.
So if you were king, what would keep you from? I mean, if I own APA,
Hmm.
based on what you're saying there, I would maybe invest in it, including
Yeah,
investing in the anti-piracy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
improve it, but fix it to where I'm getting more profits from not it being pirated.
Right. I think what BBW is also I mean, after Ernie Harwell passed away, there's new players. It has
Hmm.
this annoying thing where, like, let's say a current player, like, the first player came to my head was Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Shane McClanahan. For
Hmm.
some reason, he's a current opening day starter for the Rays.
Okay.
Like, Ernie Harwell would not have recorded the name McClanahan, for example. And so when you're playing BBW and you hear Ernie calling it, he'll say, now pitching M. And he'll say, like, just the guy's, like, last name, the
Okay.
letter of his last name. Now pitching M. And it's so annoying because you want him to hear the whole name. Like, it's
Right.
2026, for goodness sakes.
Hmm.
Let's just bring us up into there has to be some kind of AI or something that would
Oh,
fix that.
yeah, they can. They tell you if a telemarketer calls you, don't say hello because they'll use your voice. They can use your voice to trick your family, you know. So if they can do
Right.
that, I know they could replicate Ernie Harwell, you know, assuming you got the rights to do that from the
Yeah.
family, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and so I think I would maybe invest in it, fix it,
Yeah.
you know, including getting it where it's not easy to steal,
Right.
um,
Right.
you know. But yeah, so again, I've never played. I know I've seen videos of the Ernie Harwell, you
Hmm.
know, and again with my experience with old time baseball, and I think it was Tony Ruth said that the announcers was great, you know.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty powerful. It does some like really like Beatles. The turn always brings this up. It does like as the game gets like closer, like the crowd gets louder, and like the crowd ebbs and flows how the game is,
okay,
and it's pretty wild stuff. Um, I mean, now this is actually I've heard goods and bads about this, but the thing about the BBW is it's supposed to be a direct port of the master game,
okay,
but it does randomize things behind the scenes. So
all right.
like a grade 10 pitcher may be anywhere like a grade 8 to like maybe a 12, like you don't really know for that pitch what that pitcher was. And it's
Isn't
all
that what the
behind the
master?
scenes.
That's what the master game does, though, right?
Well, the master game, if you're playing against a grade 10, you know it's a grade 10 guy. And then it can get change with the batter's characteristic, like the left right
Right.
characteristic. So that's how the master game goes. But
So the computer game is more random than that.
yeah, it randomizes that base grade. So, like, if a
Right.
guy's a grade 10, it could be, you don't really know. It could be an 8 or a 7 or a 12, and then even the outfield, like, a lot of different things are randomized. Like, you don't know the result of plays. Like, it'll say, guys rounding second. Do you want him to try for third? Whereas the master game, you do the calculation, you could see the percentage,
So it
but
doesn't show you this.
no,
Okay.
BBW doesn't show that. But they did change that up with the Go.
Okay.
So Go, if you're looking for like a straight port, like kind of like a PC replay, like Go does that. Like Go
Okay.
Master Game will give you the exact, like you're exactly playing the Master Game. So that, which is kind of cool. So
Now is that a subscription or is that something you buy?
you buy, it's choice. So you could buy the game. It's like 20 some bucks, and then you have to buy the seasons, which are about 20 bucks.
Okay.
So you don't have to buy a subscription. Once you buy the game, you have access to. You just have to add on your seasons as you want.
Okay.
But if you do the subscription, you get everything. You get all the bells and whistles, but you have to pay the monthly fee. Whereas you could buy, like, for example, I don't have a subscription. I just have the game. I
You
bought
buy
maybe
what you
about
want.
4 or 5 seasons, and that's it.
Okay.
And you buy this replay module, which is really nice because that'll actually sim the games for you, kind of like Action PC automatically does,
Right.
and it'll keep your stats and everything. The stats on Go need help too. It's very, they didn't put a lot of money into that part of the thing because you're just basically getting a whole list of everybody in the league or a team, and you got to like kind of sort them yourself, on the sort features. So
So it's not as nice as the Action
no,
PC
no, it's not.
or the
That-
replay.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing I think about these helpers too. Is they've been getting so good, like that
Oh
Action
man.
PC, man, like you use on your
Oh, I
videos.
I am tickled to death with that, and it's only going to
Oh,
get better.
it is so fun. It's scary almost. Like
It,
wow, I never had this much fun.
man, if I was a kid, man,
Yeah, I
if we'd have had
know.
that, I'd have never left my room.
I know. And they're getting better. Like that. Even that pocket pennant run. I learned that's one of these helpers have to have like a value proposition. That pocket pennant run, you get so many seasons right out of the gate for like $15 or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah, I
You
mean
know,
that's the digital diamond. You know, same
digital
way.
diamond. Yeah,
You know, you get every season. I mean, that's
right.
tough to beat financially.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I mean, those pocket pennant run guys have their work cut out for them because they got to compete with like Action PCs and all that.
I'm
So
telling you, with Action PC getting in the game, I mean, I imagine number one, that's great for their business because I know they've got to be selling way more,
hmm
games and seasons because of it. And they did such a great job. And again, it's only going to get better.
right,
As,
right.
as they and it's already really really good. So,
Yep, exactly. So.
all right, anything else you would do if?
Yeah, just the BBW. I know there's a lot of fans out there. That's the thing. He's kind of just keeping it around because I think it's probably because it's easy to produce and yeah. But I like it too. It's just it's a different experience than like Go. Like you kind of wish you knew like when that runner is going for third, like what's his chances, and you're just like guessing. But then after a while, I started thinking, well, in a real game, no manager or third base coach or runner knows the chances either. they,
Right.
they, they they have an idea what it is, but they're just going for third base.
Right.
And I'm thinking for myself, well, that's probably what they were getting at. Is trying to because it doesn't happen in a real game. So why should you know now? So,
Right.
so
So, so a couple of topics I wanted to talk
yeah.
to you about. Oh, there's one more thing about the APBA.
Uh huh.
One thing that bugs me greatly, and I've said this before, is when the corners aren't rounded properly. As much as I pay for that, when those corners are warped, that really drives me crazy. Matter of fact, I mean, it makes it. I'm so weird. It makes it difficult
Yep.
to enjoy that season. And
Exactly.
I've got some that were cut really bad, and so for that kind of money, round the corners properly.
Yeah. Yeah. Know what I noticed with that is like if you buy some like older product from them, like maybe obscure product, I notice that happens more often.
So you think
So,
they're cutting them better now?
yeah, yeah, I think so. Like, I think maybe if you get some stuff that they were maybe been sitting on the shelves for a while, and
Mhm.
then they're probably like that. But
Good,
the newer
good.
stuff is pretty good. I mean, you get like those football sets. I mean, they're like perfection. Like some
Well,
of these.
again, I mean, for they're not the cheapest,
Right, right,
kids on the block. So,
right.
you give me, cut those corners nice. Because again,
Hmm.
for me, card quality is a big part of the experience.
Right,
And so
exactly.
if the cards are defective, it really is going to cause me not to enjoy the game as much.
You're right
So
about
again,
that.
I don't think it's unreasonable for that kind of money to make sure the corners are rounded properly. But again, that's
I
my only
agree.
other thing that I would fix if I were king. I'd
Yeah,
make sure that whatever the quality control and however that process is done,
yeah.
just making sure that we're cutting them right.
What's funny about that, Steve, is like as for as many complaints as Strat gets about their card quality, well, as far as like the paper quality, I should
Mm-hmm.
say, they're they don't run too many errors on like the centering and stuff, or
No.
everything's kind of perfect
Oh
with like
yeah,
how the cards laid out. It's
and they've
just
actually improved the card quality quite a bit. I
yeah,
know, like last year was 1970. The year
yeah,
before that was 84,
hmm,
and those cards are really decent
oh
quality.
yeah,
The
yeah,
76 the year before that was tissue paper. I mean,
yeah,
it
oh
was
yeah. I have both those sets.
so bad.
Last one I had was 2023 at Strats, like right here actually.
Yeah, I
It is
had
pretty
like,
nice.
it's not bad. It's not
Yeah,
bad at all. So
yeah.
so okay.
None
One,
beats the old Strat though. The 85, the 85 set I got at that flea market. I did a video on
I never did like the the coloring, the blue and
with
the
the white,
red,
just the white and
white
blue.
and black or white and blue.
Yeah,
They did
yeah,
both. Either one of them would be fine with me. To me, that's just a classic look.
yeah.
To me, I don't know, just I've never liked the red and the white. I
Right.
started in '83 with Strat, and I think maybe '86, '87 that area when they started doing that red and
Yeah,
blue.
yeah,
And I was like, I don't like this. And 30
yeah.
years later, I still don't like it.
Still don't like it.
But what are you going to do? But at least
Yeah,
card quality is getting better.
yeah.
Um, so I did a talk with Kurt about lefty righty
Mhm.
splits and baseball sims. I'd be curious to see what
Right.
your thoughts on that are.
The thing is also like the thing that's weird about lefty righty splits is like it's already like baked in the results too. Like if you think about it, like say up a basic, like all the left rights were already based. All the stats on that card are based on actual performance.
Mm-hmm.
All like exactly how has he faced. So I think it's almost like a fun way of like the game experience, like enhancing the game experience. I think that's kind of what it is. APBA Master Game is really fun with lefty righty splits. Like,
Now you have to refresh my memory. Do
yeah,
they do it based on the season? Do they generic it down a little bit to do away with extremes? I know how it works, but I can't remember what the
yeah,
ratings are based on.
yeah. It's roughly if you look at the cards, roughly OPS. roughly speaking, it's not exactly OPS, but it's based on OPS versus lefties righties. So and there's like a mean. There's like a mean average kind of which whatever like the league average is OPS, and then that puts a person at around a -1. I know it's kind of weird to think, but like if you see a guy with a -1 lefty righty splits, that's kind of like the average player. Like he's
Right.
right at the league average.
But if they get a -3, is that a perfect representation of that season,
Yeah, it's
or
just that season.
is that
Yeah,
so they don't generic it down like Strat does it? Strat, this is basically your
no,
left, your right. This is what they did.
it's -3. So the -3 would add 3 points to the pitcher. So you would expect that guy to be a little bit less off of that average league average than normal.
Right. But my question is, how do they come to the -3?
Oh,
Is it based on what they did that year?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's
so it's
that
like
particular year. Yeah.
yeah. So they're not like if you've got a Tony Gwynn,
Mhm.
for example, just murdered lefties that year, that his rating is going to show that.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
that's what's cool about it. Yeah, and like if someone say batted like 300 versus like righties, but like say 100 versus lefties, you really that guy's gonna feel it because he's gonna turn like grade D pitchers up to like grade A pitchers. You
Right.
know, if he races like a if he's real bad against lefties, like those grade D lefties will be like grade A lefties he's facing. So that's what's kind of fun about the master games. You get that variance, but again, it's already baked in the cards. So you know.
And that's kind of what we were, talking about with Kurt, because with Fall Classic, my new game
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
choice, uh, they do more generic. They'll do
Yeah.
if a batter did really well against the opposite side, they'll give him that, but they won't do reverse. And
Right.
they don't. And the one thing that does bother me a little bit, the generic don't bother me. I'm okay with it being more lefty righty, like baseball really is.
Yeah.
I don't really need the reverse splits because, I feel like that's quite up most of the time that's an anomaly. It's just how that worked out that year. Most guys most Tony Gwynn
Hmm.
uh, murdered lefties. Generally, that's not going to be what he does
Right.
his whole career. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I'm okay with the generic, but the switch hitter bugs me. I'm doing a replay with Greg Maddox in '93. Mark Lemke was a perfect example. He was a
Right. I was
switch
watching
hitter.
that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he, so they don't do anything with that. I would like to see them do that because again, that's not that's a difference. Because if you're the switch hitter,
Hmm.
there is again there's that's not usually an anomaly. It's that you're better against one side than you are the other one, and I would
Right.
like the cards to replicate that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. I know what you mean. You know what the old master game before they got to the dual characteristics was like that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. When they had
remember that? Yeah,
the
like the single
single, yeah.
characteristics.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like that too. Is like replays somewhat like that, except for that
Yeah.
column six. You know, you
Right.
have that 1-3. I think it's a 3-6 result. Is like the
Mhm.
bottom row of a three. You know, it's always lefty versus righty. Right? It's always generic. You know, like
Mhm.
there's no variance if you were like a reverse split guy.
Right.
And
And
then
I'm okay. But the
yeah,
switch hitters, again, like so Lemke, I
yeah,
would make his, he killed lefties, not righties. I would probably make his 26, like he was just,
like a
he,
single or something.
yeah, but just against the side he was good against.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas in Fall Classic, if he's a switch hitter, it's going to be a single and 26 either way.
yeah,
But
yeah.
again, those guys who really struggled on one side or the other,
Hmm.
historically,
Right.
I would like to see that adjusted. But
Yeah, and that's
again,
not replicated in some of them games like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So.
So again, I mean, I used to be again, I was a strat guy. So
Mhm.
for me, I had to have those splits, and
Right, right,
any game that didn't have it, I wasn't interested. And
right.
I've come quite a way, and again, Kurt Berkman had a lot to do with that. But I'm
Yeah, I
curious
mean,
to
there's a lot of
see.
games that do that now. Like, I mean, almost think about it. I mean, it's amazing how many games do that left-right split. You got like Dynasty League. That's left-righty. If you ever played
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Triple plays, left, right. Even
Season
like
ticket.
pine tar, left,
Season
right.
ticket.
Season ticket, left, right.
Now I think I can't swear to this, but I think season ticket they dummy it down a little bit. That it's they lean a little more toward historically lefties are better against righties and vice
Hmm.
versa.
Hmm.
But I do think they do base it quite a bit on the season. So. And
Yeah.
again, replay goes they're more generic, but they take it a little further than fall. And I want
Right.
something. I don't like basic APBA or basic strat. I'm not
Hmm.
because lefty righty splits is such a part of baseball. I want something, whether it's a
Right.
generic how it generally
Yes.
goes, or you do how they did that year. I do want something in the game to where it's part of the game.
Right. 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 Yeah, that's like basic APA. Back when we were kids, we used to play like we would have to when we were choosing who to bring in relievers. We would like say, "All right, he's a righty. We're gonna bring in a lefty," and like that had no bearing at all in the game. But you were
Well, you
trying
know
to
what? If
pretend that
you're
you were like manager. Yeah,
That's the idea, If you're
yeah,
if I'm managing that way, then it's not a big
yeah.
a deal. But I do like it built into the game where it kind of encourages me to do what they would do in real life.
Right, right,
And
right.
so with all classic, they do again because you're not going to get,
Yeah,
you're just getting a generic, generally, lefty righty. So it's going to encourage me to do that. Take
yeah.
that into account because and that's really how baseball is. you know. So, but you're
Right,
not going to get you'll get accurate overall numbers, but your splits are not going to be the same. And that bothers some
right,
people,
right.
and I get it, but for me, it's okay.
Yeah, that's another thing people think you may not know, but the master game is not that much more accurate at all than the basic game as far as like getting
Yeah,
accuracy.
yeah.
You may see if you broke your league down to left right split stats, like if you use ball stat, I mean, you may see it there, but overall, it's going to be about the same, as the basic game. So,
Well, I
but
mean, in Fall Classic, even though they're doing generic splits, you're going to have some reverse splits. You're going
yeah.
to have some lefties who hit lefties better,
Hmm.
even though you've got it built in that generically they're going to do better against righties, and that's basically how a season goes. And so my
Yeah.
thing is because very few hitters are going to be good against the same side year after year after year.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's more of an anomaly. I don't need that in my replay. And
Right.
that's just me.
Right.
I used to be, completely.
Right.
I used to be a zealot about that. It's like, no, I'm not interested if they don't have what Stratton has
Right.
as far as this is what they did that year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I've been enjoying that fall classic stuff you're putting on, Steve.
yeah, I was going to
That's
ask you, have
fun.
you
Yeah.
you have played that? I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the game?
Oh, you know what?
And
Greg
feel free to hurt my
Soman.
feelings.
That's okay. I knew Greg. He
Oh,
was a
did you?
commissioner. Yeah, he was a commissioner of a league we had.
Nice.
I was an APA league, and
Okay.
he ran the thing. And in one year, the APA convention was in Las Vegas. It was 2000. I think it was 2008, 6 or 8 convention.
Okay.
And it was like, oh yeah, I'm going this year. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I went down there. He was at the convention. We got to gamble together a little bit at the tables, did
Nice.
blackjack or whatever. And the guy was extremely intelligent. You could tell, like, just
You have to be.
within, yeah, within like 10, 15 minutes of talking to him, that the guy was like on another plane, like intelligence wise.
Now, had he created any of his games at that point?
Yeah, he had just started doing like Valhalla, and
Okay.
that was like his first creation or one of his first. Just started doing game development back then,
Okay.
and he used to ask us to like play test the games. Hey, I'm going to send this to you. Can you try it out? And a lot of his games would be using a deck of cards like king, queen, like
Okay.
diamonds, things
Yeah.
like that. And that's how he just gets started. And after a while, after our league folded after a couple years, and he just took off in his game development.
Okay.
And his games, I think, are great. I think they're
I
awesome. I
think
got
he's got
play ball.
three are that are very good.
Yeah, all three
Play
of them are
ball,
good.
field day,
Yeah,
and ball classic.
even like roster cards, fun too. I don't know if you ever play roster
I
card.
haven't.
Yeah, that you get a lot of seasons for cheap. And he used to sell like a. That's even fun, and they all kind of like their own kind of flavor to them. If you play
Mm-hmm.
them, it's not like they're totally different games.
You can see
Like they
they're
all have their own.
related.
Yeah,
but
they seem like a little bit related.
it's not like he made the same game 3 times either.
Yeah, yeah, I really like it. I mean, the only thing with all these games, Steve, and you probably can attest to, but there's only so much time in a day.
Right.
Like, you have to like allocate. Like, we all have work, or we all have things we have to do outside of gaming, and so
Hmm.
you only have like X amount of hours in a day to do this stuff. So you have to really think like, how am I going to spend the time I do have available? And you got the budget, like you can't play all these games. Like I look at all those action PC games you get over the Christmas time. Like
Hmm.
I only got, like I just have time. I just need time. I see those emails from Dave Cox Sports every day. Like that's great, Dave. I just need time to play it. you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah, so I mean that's why I'm real excited about really finding a game that I've
yeah,
fallen in love with because I'm playing a lot more. Because I again for a while I was searching,
yeah,
again I
yeah.
wanted Strat to be that, and then just for different reasons it didn't work out for me. I'll still play it, and
Hmm.
have a good collection, and it'll always be my first love. But to find a game that again I've never, not since I was a kid, have I been so excited to get another game on the table after
Oh
the
yeah,
one I play is done, and that's exciting.
yeah. That's a fun game. Yeah, that the thing too with that car quality is amazing
Hmm.
for that
It's
game. That
wonderful. Card's
ASG,
great.
that yeah, that Gurney down there, he makes good cards.
He
So
does.
yeah. Hoops too. Yeah, hoops cards. I got some hoops cards. They're just as nice.
Hoops is probably right now my second favorite game.
What's your
That's
first favorite?
Fall Classic.
I mean basketball.
Oh no, that's my favorite basketball game. I was talking about sports
Hoops
sim
is your
in
favorite.
general. Oh yeah,
Oh,
I love
okay.
it. Yeah, to me it checks all the boxes. It's
Yeah.
in depth, easy to play,
Yep.
card quality is great, and there's enough variety of outcome that I like basketball games like Strat
Yeah.
and ASG where they they divvy up. Replay
Yeah.
is a great basketball game, but it's a 2 pointer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas in Strat, he it was inside, outside,
Yeah.
drive, and ASG is kind of the same way. They don't divvy it up quite as much as Strat, but still,
Right.
it's inside, outside, penetrate, fast
Yeah.
break, and replay has fast break. But
Yeah. I know
I
what you
kind
mean now. Yeah, about that's replay, like how it doesn't divide up the inside outside play. I mean,
right,
yeah.
or penetrate, it's just he makes
Hmm.
the basket. And again, there's nothing wrong with that,
Right.
but ASG gives me enough visual that it just kind of you see Dr.
Yeah.
J driving the lane
Yeah.
magic
Yeah. It
or whatever.
does.
So
Yeah.
it's my
So.
favorite. So
Yeah, yeah, it's that time of year. It's football's over. Time to get the basketball and hockey out.
yeah. Um, so do you have any other thoughts on Fall Classic? I mean,
Oh
you're
yeah, well, I think it's good. I mean, it's very. You could tell he was a big Strat fan. I remember Greg. He liked
mhm,
Strat and he liked APBA,
you can see
and he
that.
felt they both could get improved. And
Hmm.
I think he felt he was smart enough to do it, and he did it.
He did.
So
Again, I mean, if you look at the game,
yeah,
it's exactly like like a Reese's cup. The chocolate and
yeah,
peanut butter made a Reese's cup. This is Apple and
yeah,
Strat. I mean, you can see both of them very clearly.
yep. Have you tried Field Day at all?
I have.
Oh,
So I like results off the card.
hmm,
Field Day is more of a replay model,
yeah, yeah,
to where you're combining things.
right,
It's a great game, but for me, and it's probably just my Strat history.
yeah,
I like season ticket, Strat, fall classic, where the results are on the card. I don't like
yeah.
combining numbers, and with field day, you know, if I recall, it's kind of like that, where you're trying to get to either a nine or
Yeah,
you subtract the number for the pitcher. To me, I like you know, here's it's an out, it's a single, it's a double, it's a
right,
home run, So,
right, right.
but great
That's the thing
game,
with
but
yeah,
Fall Classic again, I like that.
yeah. There's a lot of cards too. That was the only thing. The fall class. The only problem I had with Greg's games was like sometimes he's such a smart guy. The way he wrote the original instructions,
Hmm.
he sometimes leaves things open for interpretation, which kind of can frustrate you a little bit.
He did.
I think it's because he
Bink.
was smart. Yeah.
Do you know Bink?
Yeah, he does a great job with the rolls and stuff. He improved
He's
that. He
actually,
actually upgraded it a little bit.
yeah, he rewrote them back, or he updated it, some charts and the
Hmm.
rules, and he did a great job in December.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
noticed, at least in my opinion, the rules were much improved. Where he
I'll have
cleared
to
up
check
some
that
things.
out then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a free download on ASG. But he updated some rules and um, minor things, but I thought all of the updates were great. And I said the way the instructions are written
I'm gonna have
was
to
a
take a
little
look at
clearer.
that then.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
see what you think.
because that base running in field day was really kind of odd, like how it was written. And I think it was Greg was so smart that he was kind of like, well, you got to be smart to figure that out. And it's kind of like,
Yeah,
like
that was
keep up
one
with me
reason.
here.
That was one reason because I was actually trying Field Day and Fall Classic at about the same time,
Hmm.
and I was struggling a little bit with the Field Day base
Hmm.
running.
Hmm.
The Fall Classic just clicked like that for me, and
Yeah,
so that was another reason. And so I just found that I kept going back to the Field Day or the Fall
right,
Classic when I wanted to play because for whatever reason, just the way I think, I guess,
right.
it clicked fast,
Yeah,
And whereas Field Day, I was struggling, probably trying to do them both at the same time, probably
right.
didn't help, because they're
Yeah,
similar enough that it gets confusing, you know.
right, right.
And
That's why
so,
you got the fast action cards. Just
right, yeah, I could have done that, but
I was talking about another game. I mean, I think this, Steve, we could talk all night about this
I
stuff.
know
You know
it.
that.
I love it.
You know what I was doing? That guy we were talking about earlier, he just did the PDF of the games on the screen, and he rolled the
Yeah,
dice with the ball roller. I
yeah,
was like, I want to do that too. So I got an old PDF uh, payoff pitch season. I never
okay,
printed.
yeah,
Like I never even touched this. I bought the PDF because it was so cheap,
right,
and I played it, and I got stuck on the base running. I was like, because I was using the card flipper, the Andy Lewis card flipper.
okay,
Like, wait a second here. This guy just advanced from second to home, and it didn't factor in the guy's speed or his arm.
hmm,
I was like, what the heck kind of game is this? I was like I'm looking at all the results. I kept clicking, clicking, clicking. Like, do you ever factor in how fast this guy is? And I think the choice thing, I think there is one way you could do it where it does look at the arm and the speed. Like it's kind of like one thing on the advanced rules you got to do, but
yeah.
that was a yeah,
I just did a video and I was kind of talking about. I did like a tutorial of Fall Classic because I felt
yeah,
like I was new enough, and that thing I was talking about is how that, I'm okay with sometimes because like Strat, you'll have 2 stars, they
hmm,
advance 2 bases, and I'm
right.
okay with that. And
That's like
I'm
payoff pitch. Yeah, yeah.
right, and I'm okay with just the outfielder's arm being taken into account.
Okay.
I'm okay with sometimes just the runner being taken into account, and that's what
Hmm.
Fall Classic does.
Right.
But when you have, I don't need the arm, the outfielders,
Every
rating
time.
every
Okay.
single time, and then have to calculate it every single
Right.
time.
Right. Right.
It's
So you
like
have the master game. You have
I don't
APBA
know if I
there.
want to do this or not because I can't figure out the formula. And so
Yeah.
to me, a game that says he takes the extra base if he's a fast runner, or he
Yeah.
takes the extra base if the outfielder has a weak arm, you know. So
Yeah.
it's you're getting the abilities of the players, but I don't have to have both every single time.
So what you're saying is fall class. I'm not super versed. I've played a little bit of it, but so fall classic, the assist chance, there's risk, assist, and then there's just like it'll tell you the 2 stars or no or what
Yeah,
is
so
fall classic.
sometimes it'll just say he advances, like for example, he goes off the 20-sided die. So sometimes
Hmm.
it's a single to center field, guy on second scores.
Hmm.
And like APBA, they have charts for the base situations, but
Hmm.
it's just for the out and the runner advancement.
Right.
And so sometimes it'll single center, guy scores.
Hmm.
And then, but most of the time it'll say, he'll score if there's 2 outs, and like it'll say if the outfielder has a weak or an average arm, he'll score. If there's two
Hmm.
outs, everybody scores.
Hmm.
And then sometimes it'll say he'll score if he's a fast runner. If he's a slow runner, he stays. A little bit like APA, where you got the slow runner will
Right.
get thrown out sometimes. But
I used
what's
to get too confused, but the risk, there was like the risk and then there was
right,
assist. And I was like,
and so
what's the
what's
difference there?
genius about that is
Yeah.
is that the assist. So every outfielder has a arm rating,
Mm-hmm.
strong, average, and weak, and then they have an assist number.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, what that does is that some outfielders will have a bad arm, but they have a lot of assists because people kept running on them. And
Okay.
so an assist is you have to try to take the extra base. You roll a d6 against the outfielder's assist rating. The higher the number, the more they throw out. And then there's a
Okay.
chance for an error if you roll a 6. Uh, and then so the risk is it's based on the outfielder's, not his assist number, but his arm strength.
Okay.
And so running with risk, you choose if you want to go or not. Again, very simple. He's going to get thrown out uh, 4 out of 6.
Yeah.
Average is 3 out of 6. A weak
Mm-hmm.
arm is he gets thrown out 2 out of 6.
I
But
got you.
but the
Okay.
thing is, if you take the extra base on a run, the assist you have to, but the runners don't automatically advance behind you. On run with risk, if you decide to try to throw him out, all the runners behind him will advance.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, you've got guys on first and second, you're ahead by 3. The defense is, you get hit a single to left, he's going to run with risk. You got a weak outfielder arm, you're probably not going to throw him out.
Mm-hmm.
So you cut it off. And again, so
Okay. That's why I called it risk. That's why I think you're
it
taking a risk there. Yeah.
right. It's a
Yeah.
simple way to add strategy to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, when I'm managing both teams, I don't want to have to calculate and think, and it just gets overwhelming for me because I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not that bright. But this is a very simple. Again, it's just one single chart based on their arm rating.
Mm-hmm.
S average, and then if you don't throw them out and you try to throw them out, the runners advance. So it's really really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I'm gonna have to go look at that some more because I haven't played it enough to like you guys have with
I've
that.
never
But
played a game like it. Again,
yeah.
every game I've played, the outfielder has a arm rating.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do like a guy like Clemente, who obviously had a bazooka for an arm,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't have very many assists. Um,
Yeah. Because they wouldn't run
so
on them. Because that's because
because
people
they're
wouldn't
not
try to
trying,
take. Yeah. Right.
right? And so with this, you get that where a guy has a bad arm, but you have a W arm, which means a lot of times they won't take they will take the extra base, but he's got a 6 assist number, which
Yeah.
means when they do, he's gonna throw out more because again they're running on him. So
That's Greg's genius. That's Greg
I
right
was gonna
there.
say
Yeah.
that the economy, that's one thing Tony Porter is
Yeah.
really harps on, and it's a big thing. I've never seen another team do that. And
Yeah.
so because of the assist you have to run, you get a lot more exciting plays on the base pass. In
Mm-hmm.
Strat,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to run if the chances aren't good. I'm going to make it. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
Right.
in a thing like this, it's like it may not make sense on paper. That's like you said with the APBA game. You don't know the if he just going for third in real life.
Yeah. You don't know what
Where
the chances are.
exactly.
You're
And so
running.
this is like you're going to go, and that was a boneheaded decision, but
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
sometimes you go and he's safe. The odds are against him, but he's safe. And it changes the game. So again, that kind of stuff is just really that makes this game a lot of fun to play. Like I said, when I get done with one game, I'm ready to put the
See
next
that.
one back on the table because it's
That's
so
a
much
sign of a
fun.
good game.
It
You're
is.
ready to get the. I know. So you're towards the end of a game. You're like, oh, I don't want this game to end. You're like, this game's
Yeah.
so good. Like I
Yeah.
am. So that you're playing a good game then. So.
Right. If you find that you're getting the extra innings and you
Mm-hmm.
have time, again,
Mm-hmm.
because how many of us is like, okay, I've got an hour, I'm going to try to squeeze the game in here,
Right.
and inevitably it goes 15
Yeah. Yeah.
innings.
You'll get
but
that. You'll get that.
if you
So.
have time and you're not disappointed that it's going, and maybe it's not as much fun as you think it
Mm-hmm.
is.
That's it. Yeah. So.
Um, we'll talk about one last thing. We're at an hour here, so uh,
I could talk all night.
I know you can, but I don't know if people could listen
I
to us
know
all
we don't
night.
want to listen. People will listen all night though.
uh, Again, I do this because I enjoy it. I
Yeah.
love talking to you guys. Like you said, it's a little
Yeah.
bit like going to a convention. You get
Right.
to talk to people who are like I tell my wife, I heard a nerd, so
Right,
uh,
right.
human error. Uh,
Hmm.
I say a lot of times, like when I'm playing a game, I lose a few IQ points, and there's
Hmm.
some truth to that because
Yep,
you're distracted,
yep.
and so sometimes you'll miss things. Like uh, uh, the Dodgers were playing Maddox in Atlanta, and I gave Strawberry an extra hit because
Hmm.
I didn't check his card first before I went to the pitcher's card, and
Hmm.
stuff like that bugs me greatly.
Right,
I usually
right.
think it was just that, but I think what happens is when I'm playing by myself, I don't notice it, and I don't have the videotape to prove it. So I'm probably making as many mistakes off camera as I
Yeah,
am on. I just don't notice it because I don't
yeah,
watch the tape later.
yep.
What are your
And
thoughts
I've
on
made
that? I
a
mean,
plenty.
does that when you're
I,
watching it on YouTube,
I,
does it bug you?
I have a philosophy about that. Because I play a lot of like replays. Like I've played thousands of games. I play
Oh, I know you
season
have.
replays, and
Yeah.
I do catch myself even making mistakes on my own. Like when I'm
Mhm.
making it, and like, what I always chalk it up as? The umpire blew the call.
There you go.
Like the
Yeah.
umpire blew, and especially like if someone gets like a fly out when they should have got a hit, and I'm like, and I already scored the whole thing. I'm like, well, he missed a pitch or something. He got an extra hit or another pitch to hit. So I always
So
blame it on the umpires because I think that's part of baseball too. At least
it
old
is.
time baseball.
Yeah.
They would screw up.
Yeah. I
So
mean, who was the umpire that ruined that? Was it a no hitter, a perfect game? That Tiger
yeah,
pitcher.
the
Yeah.
Tiger guy,
Yeah.
Galarraga. Yeah,
Yeah. The guy was obviously out.
right. And
You
then
know.
the Cardinal thing with the World Series with the White Herzog when I don't forget that play, but I think it was at the Cardinal or the Royal guy was safe at first base or out at first base or something. It was a
Right.
big to do.
But again, so I guess what you're saying is that when you're anytime humans are involved, there's
Hmm.
probably it's not going to be perfect. So that's
Right.
kind of part of the equation. So
Yeah.
Strawberry's going to get an extra hit sometimes. That's just it's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yep. There's yeah, you're gonna have that stuff. It's just I always think of it like someone like muttering to the umpire on the way back to the dugout, hey, you blew that call or that was a ball earlier.
Yeah, Maddox is mad at me because I gave him a hit that he didn't really get.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you messed up that call before and now that guy got a hit. That ball was a strike I threw before. So
I will say it makes me, because there's certain results that almost always go right to the pitcher's card.
yeah.
And so and it was a 34, I think, and that's almost
Hmm.
always there's not almost never anything on the batter's card, and
Hmm.
so I just went right to the pitcher's card, and then I rolled it again later in the game, and I caught it, and then I'm like,
Oh, that makes you feel worse.
yeah, because I think I missed this earlier because I'm pretty sure this was the exact same roll, so I caught it the second time,
Yeah.
and he was out. But so for some reason, when I'm watching guys play, for
Yeah.
some reason that really bugs me. But I think I need to get over that because, like you said, that's just part. When you're dealing with humans, that's just
Yeah.
part of the equation.
And when I'm doing the YouTube part, I actually don't mind. I don't get upset when people like point out my flaws and stuff. I don't
No,
mind at all. I
I
like to
mean
like I screwed that up. I want to know. So,
but when you're watching, does it
yeah,
bug you? I mean, like APBA, APBA like the back
yeah,
of your hand. So if you're
yeah,
watching somebody play APBA and you see them make a glaring mistake
yeah,
because they missed it, or they they rolled a
yeah,
56 and they called it a 65, for
yeah.
example, get the die, and that's happens a lot where you read the dice backward.
Right.
Uh, does that so? I mean, you just that doesn't
I,
bug you any?
no, I won't even put it on his chat. Like I always like to let the other guy save face. Let him save face.
We all
I'm sure
do
he
it.
knows he messed up.
I mean, we all. I mean, anybody who does a
Right.
game on YouTube, they're gonna, they do more than a game and a half. They're gonna miss something, probably.
Yeah. I remember my golf videos I did. This one guy I know, he's in the APBA community. He criticized every little because the thing about the golf game, which is so cool, is it's not people might probably not like it about it, but the rules are up for debate. A lot of
Hmm. Yeah,
this
some
short
games are
sided
like that.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he got on me about my video, and him and I were going back and forth. Her texting him like after, like later on that night about my video. Like this is how I interpret the rules. This is how you interpret the rules. And it's pretty much APBA's fault because they weren't clear on the rules.
Right. ASG golf's like that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
There's some liberties there.
yeah,
And I think they designed it that way on purpose. And again, some games are like that.
yeah.
Some games are just a little bit open to interpretation. But
It's great.
and again,
It's
I don't
definitely
mind
like that.
people
Yeah,
pointing out that I missed something.
yeah,
Again, but it bugs me a lot when I miss something. That's one thing
yeah,
about playing with
yeah.
Strat PC is that it would correct my work, so to speak. Because you enter the dice
Right.
roll, and
Hmm.
so you're doing cards and dice, but the Strat would do the result, and there've been times where it's like, oh man, I missed that,
Yeah.
so that's one thing about playing with a PC version with your cards. It
Right.
corrected my work sometimes.
Keep you in
You know,
line there.
you don't get
So
that when you're doing just cards and dice and doing
yeah.
manual entry to something.
But then no Action PC, it's still open for your mess ups though, because your
So,
Action
yeah,
PC just puts in what you tell it.
it's not going to fix me like Strat PC would.
No, or PC replay, that'll
Yeah,
too.
if you're playing cards and dice, if you've got the replay, exactly, it's exact
Yeah.
same thing. When I'm playing the PC with the cards, it's there's been times where, and probably more so with that because I'm more familiar with Strat than I am replay, and so I would put in a result, I put in the
Yeah.
dice roll, and where I read it, I didn't read far enough down. There was a little bit more there at the
Mhm.
very end of the result in replay, and so it would correct me quite a bit, which was
Now,
good. But
I had a question for you about your taste on this stuff. And this
okay.
is something I've been struggling with. I wanted to ask you is what's your thoughts on straight cards and dice, paper, pen with no electric involved? Like a no PC games versus using like what you're doing with the scoring on paper and you got the helper up and you got a lot of different things going on. Like what are your thoughts on just straight, like just your lamps on, I'm talking about just the
Yeah.
card, dice, and your paper and pen. Like, do you see a difference in your experience or not, or how do you feel about that?
So I would say that appeals to me greatly. Um, More so before the Action PC came along,
Hmm.
because to me the Action PC has added so much
Yeah,
immersion
yeah,
that it really works great.
yeah, yeah. It does.
And then the other thing would be the stat compiling. Uh,
Right,
I,
right.
I just if it wasn't for the stat, and to me stats are a big deal. I want to.
Hmm.
I don't want just the scores. I don't want averages. I want to know how they did against lefties, against righties. I want to
Right,
know what they did day versus night. I'm a stat geek, and
right. Me
so
too.
the manual entry is almost a must. Because of that, there's been times where I think I would like to play the game and then enter it in manually later.
Hmm.
But the problem is that then it's taking twice. It's more time. If I
Right,
enter it while I'm playing, then I can get more games
right, right.
in.
Exactly. I've noticed
And
you do
so
that. Yeah,
again, for me, the stats are so important that I don't I don't have that option. But the appeal, like you said, just the lamp, the cards, and the dice,
hmm
that appeals to me greatly.
yeah.
But
It's
it's
almost
not as
scary how
much.
much it appeals. It almost you start doing it, you almost want to just go back to the old way, and then you like
Well,
come back to your senses.
but I tell you, Action PC has
Yeah,
changed that a lot. I mean, it is
yeah,
so much fun.
yeah.
Uh, in the immersion, and the crowd noise is great. When
Hmm.
they fix it to where the crowd will respond to what you enter in,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that's going to come. Man, that's going to take this up to even more. So before that, more so.
Yeah.
Since that, not quite as much.
Does Action PC do what like Digital Diamond does, where it tells you like the next day's starting pitchers, like if you're putting relievers in?
Yes, when
Does
you
it
go
do
to
that?
the bull, yes,
Yeah,
and not only that, uh, replay baseball was the best at this, but I think Action PC may have one here. So when
yeah.
you bring up the bullpen,
Right,
it'll show you their next start date,
right.
everybody uh, in the bullpen, but it also shows you the last 4 days how how much they pitched. So you
Oh,
can look
really?
and
Okay.
say, okay, so like with the Maddox thing, I'm coming.
Hmm.
Action PC's replaying most of the games. I'm jumping in for Maddox's games. So Kent Merker, okay, he pitched the last 4 games. He's pooped.
Hmm.
And so that's very helpful. So I'm going
Right.
to go with a guy. who hasn't pitched in the last 2 days.
Right.
So yeah, it's very, very good helper, when you're for your bullpen about how much they pitched, and it
Right.
also shows you their innings pitched and then their replay innings pitched, so
Right.
you can see, how much they played total, not just the
Yeah.
last 4 days, and it's very laid out nice where it's very easy to see, and so they did a great job.
Yeah. See, I use Ball Score, Ball Stat. No,
Mhm.
that actually went away. They took down the website for that. So I don't
Did
know if
they?
that's yeah. The owner passed away.
Okay.
His family was keeping the domain alive for Ball Stats. You can't even get it anymore. So
Okay.
who knows what the next step is with Ball Stats? So eventually, I think I'll have to gravitate out of that. But I'm playing
Yeah.
88 National League right now, and I'm using Ball Stat for that. And it's very generic. There's no immersion. If you ever use
Yeah.
Ball Stat, there's
I
yeah,
did a video on it, so I tried it.
yeah,
It just didn't work out for me.
yeah, very generic. If you
Mhm.
not back and its time it was breakthrough, but now there's Action PC, PC Replay, Strat, and all that stuff.
So I mean, the thing about Action PC, every season's available,
Right. Yeah, Action
and
PC.
the you get sales all the time. Like I said,
Right.
back during the snowstorm, he did
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's cold sale, and so
He gives
I
stuff
got
away. I mean, he gives
four
it away.
seasons for $20.
Yeah.
And like you said, he gives away seasons. I
Yeah.
got 2016 for free.
Yeah.
So again, it's not as cost effective as Digital Diamond, but
Right.
it's very reasonable. Especially compared to Strat or Replay.
If Digital Diamond can make their entry a little bit smoother, I think they'll be up there too. That'll
I
help them
I,
keep pace with it.
I,
So,
I struggled with that.
oh, me too.
I bought it and I tried it, and just not the entry, but also just the interface. I just for
Yeah,
some reason it didn't click for me.
yeah, yeah,
And so, but again, Action PC, it's just like, man, this is for me anyway. This is a game changer. I mean, it's just,
yeah,
you know, maybe part of the reason I love Fall Classic so much is because I just happened to start it with Action
yeah.
PC. Maybe it's the combo that I'm really falling in love with.
It's so good. It's scary with the
It is,
pictures, the stadiums, everything.
yeah.
Like, wow.
I mean, it's like that somebody did a 1953 photo,
Mhm.
and so everybody's got a white background. The pictures are great. I don't know. I imagine it's probably AI
Right,
enhanced. But I mean, we're seeing these guys. I mean, it looks like the picture was taken yesterday. Most of them,
right,
and
right.
this is 1953, and then you got the logos. You can get the stadium, find your stadium pictures, and they look great.
Hmm.
You can, Strat. You have to have no calculus to move the players around on the field.
Right.
It's got like XY coordinates, which is a pain. I got really good at it, but if you don't know how to do that, it's a pain. Whereas this one, you just
Oh, yeah,
drag
yeah.
them where you want them, and it's got the fence
Hmm.
distances, and so again, just all kinds of things.
That's Strat XY. That's so. I give Strat a lot of credit. They're able to sell like 90s software at like 2026 prices year after year. Like people still
Again, because
buy.
everybody wants the new season. It's
Yeah,
like
that's it.
it's like baseball demo said. Why upgrade it when you don't have to?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
everybody wants the new season, and you can't get the new season if you don't buy the update. And,
Right.
again, I'm jumping off that merry-go-round.
Yeah. Hey, I'm ebb and flow with those guys, but
So, yeah,
I did
again,
see
I
on their update they're doing like the full name on the screen. So like on the computer, instead of doing like their initial name, they're doing like the person's full name. Like if it's Ron Gant, it'll say saying R Gant, it'll say Ron Gant on there,
okay,
which I think
that's
is
that's
made me
that's
almost want to buy it today.
that's worth $60.
Yeah, I know. I give them they're business genius. They're able to sell this stuff, you know.
Well,
But
again, that model is not working for me any
no,
longer.
yeah,
Again, what, having a game that you love, and I know, if I get a wild hair and I want to play 1965,
mhm,
or 1922, uh,
right,
it's there. I don't have to
yeah,
buy it now when I don't really want to get it because it won't be there tomorrow,
right,
or they're not going to create it till after I die. you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's nice knowing that if there's something I want to buy and they're cheaper, by about
yeah,
$10 per season. The cards are way better,
yeah,
and so it's just like I counted. I've got 60
Mhm.
strat seasons, so
Oh,
I've got
wow.
I've got a
Wow.
big strat collection, and I'm going to
Yeah.
hang on to it.
Yeah.
Eventually, I was doing 1920 White Sox, and I'm about halfway through that season, so
Mhm.
uh, that's going to be on my list of pretty soon to try to wrap that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get it knocked out.
I love the
So
Black Sox. But
definitely.
anyway, all right, my friend. Well,
All
I think
right,
we had an
Steve.
hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much. I miss chatting with you.
Yeah.
You're one of my most favorite YouTubers.
Thank
I
you.
really
You're
enjoy
my. I
watching.
like you too. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
and enjoyed chatting, and I will hopefully
Okay.
do it again soon.
Definitely. All right. I'll catch you later. Have a good night, Steve.
Yeah,
I'll
you
see you.
too.
Bye.